Welcome back to our channel, where we uncover the hidden treasures that could be sitting right inside your pocket change. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating story of the 1980 Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin, a small copper coin that has become a major star in the world of numismatics. This particular penny, minted in Denver, has captured the attention of collectors everywhere, with one in pristine condition fetching an incredible current market value of $34,999. Yes, you heard that right. Nearly $35,000 for a penny that might be hiding in your change jar, coin roll, or old collection box. Let's explore how this seemingly ordinary coin became so valuable, what makes it stand out from millions of others, and how you can identify whether you might have one of these rare gems in your possession. First, let's go back in time to the year 1980. The Lincoln cent had already been in circulation for more than 70 years, first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin featured Lincoln's profile on the obverse, the front side, and originally the wheat stalk design on the reverse. But by 1959, to celebrate Lincoln's 150th birthday, the design changed to show the Lincoln Memorial, created by Frank Gasparo. That design continued until 2008, making the 1980 penny part of the long-standing Lincoln Memorial series. The 1980 Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, as indicated by the small D mint mark located just below the date on the front of the coin. Over 5.1 billion of these coins were struck that year, so on the surface, it might seem like they're common, and indeed, many are. But what separates the average 1980 penny from one worth tens of thousands of dollars are the subtle errors, condition factors, and minting anomalies that collectors crave. Now let's talk about what makes this coin so special. First, one of the most notable characteristics that drive its high value is its condition. A coin graded by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC, as being in mint state 67 or higher can command staggering prices at auction. This is because finding a coin struck in 1980 that has survived more than 4 decades without scratches, blemishes, or wear from circulation is extremely rare. Most pennies from that era have been spent, handled, dropped, and stored in conditions that degraded their luster. But in the case of the $34,999 specimen, the coin was found in exceptional condition, showcasing its original red copper brilliance, sharp details, and perfectly struck surfaces. It represents the pinnacle of mint preservation, a time capsule of craftsmanship from the Denver Mint during the early 1980s. Beyond condition, there are also some fascinating minting errors associated with the 1980 Lincoln penny that can add significant value. Some of the most valuable examples include off-center strikes, doubled dies, die cracks, and repunched mint marks. Let's start with one of the most sought after, the doubled die. A doubled die occurs during the coin production process when the die, which impresses the image onto the blank planchet, is misaligned during the hubbing process. This creates a doubled image that can appear most noticeably on the date, lettering, or Lincoln's features. Collectors love doubled die coins because they represent a unique minting mistake, and for the 1980 Lincoln penny, a strong doubled die on the obverse can be worth hundreds to thousands of dollars depending on the visibility of the doubling and the condition of the coin. Another interesting variety is the repunched mint mark, often referred to as an RPM. Before 1990, mint marks were punched into the coin dies by hand. That means there was always room for human error. If the mint mark was punched in slightly off and then corrected, it could result in what we call a repunched mint mark. On some 1980 pennies, you can find a shadow or secondary impression of the D, often visible under magnification. Such varieties can fetch impressive prices among die variety collectors. Let's not forget about off-center strikes, where the design is not properly aligned with the coin blank during striking. Depending on the degree of the off-center error, especially if the date remains visible, the coin's value can soar. A 1980 penny that is 10 to 20% off-center might be worth $100 or more, while one that's 50% off-center with a clear date can bring in hundreds, or even over $1,000. Die cracks and die breaks are also popular errors. These occur when the die used to strike coins develops small cracks, leaving raised lines or blobs of metal on the coin's surface. Collectors often nickname these dramatic breaks, such as BIE, errors, where a small die break appears between the letters B and E in Liberty, making it look like there's an extra letter, I. These little quirks can make a coin unique and valuable to the right collector. Now, let's talk about materials. The 1980 penny was still made primarily from 95% copper and 5% zinc, a composition that had been standard since the beginning of the Lincoln cent series, except during World War II when pennies were briefly made from steel. It wasn't until 1982 that the U.S. Mint switched to copper-plated zinc for pennies due to rising metal costs. Because of this, all 1980 pennies are copper-based, which means they're slightly heavier than the modern zinc versions. If you're ever unsure whether a penny is copper or zinc, a quick weight test can help. A copper penny weighs about 3.11 grams, while a zinc penny weighs only 2.5 grams. The copper composition also contributes to the coin's appeal. Collectors often prefer copper coins for their durability, rich color, and historical significance. Over time, these coins can develop a beautiful red-brown or chocolate patina, depending on storage conditions. However, coins that retain their original bright red luster are the most desirable and valuable. Let's talk about the market side. The coin market is highly influenced by rarity, condition, and demand. While billions of 1980 Lincoln pennies exist, only a small fraction remain in high-grade, uncirculated condition. As coin grading services like PCGS and NGC assign grades, the population reports show that only a handful of these coins have achieved near-perfect mint state 67 or 68 grades, and that scarcity is what pushes prices into the tens of thousands. Auction records show that collectors are willing to pay astonishing sums for these coins, particularly if they have both beauty and rarity. One such coin, graded MS68 red, sold for over $34,999, setting a benchmark for this date and mint mark. Since then, interest in high-grade copper Lincoln cents from the 1970s and 1980s has grown rapidly, as investors and hobbyists alike recognize their increasing scarcity in pristine condition. But here's the exciting part: you might actually have one of these valuable coins without even realizing it. Many coin collectors and enthusiasts began their journeys by simply searching through pocket change, coin rolls, or old family coin jars. So, if you have a 1980 penny, grab a magnifying glass and a good light source, and start examining it closely. Look for signs of doubling on the date, mint mark anomalies, or striking errors. Check the coin's color and luster. Is it still bright red or mostly brown? If it looks uncirculated, meaning there are no signs of wear on Lincoln's cheek, jawline, or coat, it might be worth sending to a professional grading service. When it comes to grading, here's what you should know. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, known as the Sheldon scale. Circulated coins, those that have been used in commerce, typically fall below 60. Once you reach mint state 60 and higher, you're talking about coins that have never seen circulation. The higher the grade, the better the luster and strike, and the fewer marks or blemishes visible on the surface. An MS65 coin is considered gem quality, MS67 is superb, and MS68 or higher is near perfection. Those top grades are where the serious money comes in. Also, proper storage can make a huge difference in preserving your coins. If you suspect you have a valuable 1980 penny, keep it in a protective coin holder, away from moisture, humidity, or direct sunlight. Copper coins can tone or corrode quickly when exposed to air and oils from your hands, so always handle them by the edges. Now, let's take a closer look at the Denver Mint itself. In 1980, the Denver Mint was one of the busiest facilities in the world, producing billions of coins annually. The minting process involved high-speed presses striking blanks with immense pressure, up to 100 tons per strike. Even the smallest variations in alignment, pressure, or die wear could produce minor differences that today's collectors cherish as unique varieties. Welcome back, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and surprising coins in U.S. history, the 1976 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin, which has shocked collectors around the world with a staggering current market value of $80,453. That's right, a coin worth just 1 cent when it was minted is now valued at over $80,000. This is a coin you could still find in circulation, in your change jar, or tucked away in an old family coin collection. So sit back, because we're going to uncover everything about this coin, its origin, design, key errors, what makes it valuable, and how you can identify one that might be worth a fortune. Let's start with a bit of background on the Lincoln cent itself. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It replaced the Indian head cent and quickly became one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse, or front, features a bust of President Lincoln, a design that has endured for more than a century. On the reverse, the familiar design of the Lincoln Memorial, created by Frank Gasparo, was used from 1959 through 2008. That means the 1976 Lincoln penny falls squarely within the Memorial Reverse era, a period when billions of these coins were minted. Now, you might be thinking, if billions were made, how could a 1976 penny possibly be worth over $80,000? The answer lies in rarity, condition, minting errors, and collector demand. The 1976 no-mint mark penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Coins made in Philadelphia traditionally carried no mint mark, which means you'll only see the date, 1976, on the front, no letter underneath. At first glance, that doesn't sound particularly special, but here's where it gets interesting. Most 1976 pennies are made from a copper alloy, 95% copper and 5% zinc. But some coins have been discovered with striking differences, unusual planchets, off-center strikes, or even doubled dies. These rare varieties are what transform an ordinary penny into a coin worth thousands. Combine that with pristine condition, and you have a coin that becomes the holy grail for collectors. Let's dig into the minting history for 1976. That year, the U.S. Mint was producing both circulating and commemorative coins to celebrate the bicentennial, 200 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Most people know about the special bicentennial quarters, half dollars, and dollar coins that feature dual dates, 1776 to 1976. But the penny was not redesigned for the bicentennial. The Lincoln cent kept its standard look, which means it often gets overlooked by collectors who assume 1976 pennies are common. However, hidden among those billions are some incredibly rare and valuable coins that slipped through due to minting mistakes. So, what kind of errors should you be looking for on a 1976 no-mint mark Lincoln penny? Let's go over the most significant ones. First, the double die obverse. This occurs when the coin die itself has been struck more than once during its creation, causing noticeable doubling on the coin's design. If you look closely at the date, the word Liberty, or the motto, In God We Trust, and see doubled or shadowed letters or numbers, you might be holding one of the most valuable 1976 pennies out there. Coins with strong, visible doubling have fetched tens of thousands of dollars at auction. Next, there's the off-center strike. This error happens when the blank planchet isn't perfectly aligned with the dies during striking. Depending on how far off the strike is, part of the design might be missing, or the coin could appear misaligned. The more dramatic the off-center, while still showing the date, the more valuable the coin becomes. Some off-center 1976 pennies have sold for several $1,000s each. Another major variety to watch for is the die break, or cud, error. A cud appears when a piece of the die breaks off, causing a raised blob of metal on the coin's surface. These can appear near the rim, or on Lincoln's bust, and are highly collectible, especially when the break is large or distinct. There's also the 1976 penny struck on a foreign or transitional planchet. Every once in a while, the mint accidentally uses a blank meant for a different denomination, or even a foreign coin. Some 1976 pennies were struck on dime planchets, or on planchets that don't match the proper copper composition. These types of minting anomalies are exceedingly rare, and when authenticated by grading companies, they can command prices that push well into the tens of thousands. But even without dramatic errors, a regular 1976 penny in pristine, uncirculated, or proof condition can carry incredible value. Coins graded MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC, the top coin grading authorities, are extremely rare because very few coins survive in such flawless state. Tiny contact marks, scratches, or dull luster can drastically reduce a coin's grade and value. That's why a 1976 no-mint mark penny in perfect red, mint-state condition can reach prices upward of $80,453 in the current market. Let's talk a bit more about how grading impacts value. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70. A coin graded MS70 means it's in perfect mint condition, no visible flaws even under magnification. For a 1976 penny, finding one even in MS67 condition is rare, because most coins from that time circulated heavily. If your coin has sharp details, a bright red luster, and no scratches, it's worth submitting to a professional grading service. Even a difference of one grade point can add or subtract thousands of dollars from its value. Now, how do you tell if your 1976 penny might be valuable? Start by examining the color. The color grading for copper coins falls into three categories: red, RD, red-brown, RB, and brown, BN. A full red coin, one that has retained its original copper shine, is far rarer and more valuable than one that has toned to brown over the decades. Store your coins in airtight holders or capsules to prevent further oxidation if you think you have something special. Next, check for minting errors with a magnifying glass or coin microscope. Look carefully at the date, the words, and Lincoln's features. Doubling, misalignment, cracks, or strange textures can be indicators of mint errors. If you notice something unusual, don't clean the coin. Cleaning can destroy its surface and reduce its value drastically. Instead, consult a reputable coin dealer or submit it to a grading service for professional evaluation. Let's take a moment to talk about some auction history. In recent years, several rare 1976 no-mint mark Lincoln pennies have made headlines at auctions. One such coin in near-perfect mint condition sold for over $80,000 because it exhibited exceptional luster, sharp detail, and a rare strike variety. Another example with a strong double die obverse reached nearly $20,000. These examples prove that even a penny most people ignore can be worth life-changing money under the right conditions. Collectors love the 1976 penny not only for its rarity but also for its connection to an important year in American history, the bicentennial era. Many coin enthusiasts build complete 1976 coin sets, including the bicentennial quarter, half dollar, and dollar, but finding a high-grade or era 1976 penny completes the collection beautifully. It's a subtle but historically significant piece of the puzzle. If you're just starting out in coin collecting, the 1976 Lincoln penny is an excellent example of why you should always check your change. Most people pass these coins by without a second thought, assuming they're ordinary. But treasure hunting in your pocket change can lead to incredible discoveries. Remember, every valuable coin starts as an unnoticed one. So, where can you find these coins today? Check your old coin jars, rolls of pennies from the bank, or estate sales where older coins might still be hiding. If you're buying from online marketplaces like eBay or heritage auctions, make sure to verify authenticity and look for coins that have been professionally graded. Always check the coin's photos closely. If you spot an error or unique characteristic, it could be your lucky find. And while we're talking about luck, let's not forget the importance of patience. Coin collecting is not just about finding instant treasure, it's about learning, researching, and enjoying the process of discovery. Every coin tells a story, from the hands it passed through to the historical moments it represents. The 1976 no-mint mark penny tells a story of America's bicentennial pride, of meticulous minting, and of the enduring appeal of Lincoln's legacy on U.S. coinage. As we wrap up, let's review what makes this coin truly special. In today's video, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and shocking discoveries in the world of coin collecting, the 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin that has stunned collectors with a jaw-dropping current market value of $8 million. Yes, you heard that right, $8 million for a single penny. But what makes this coin so incredibly valuable? And how could a coin that looks old, dirty, or even damaged be worth a life-changing fortune? Stay tuned, because in this video we'll uncover everything you need to know about this rare treasure, how to identify it, what makes it different, and why damaged or dirty pennies might just be hiding huge value in your pocket change. Before we get into the history and secrets behind this 1988 no-mint Mark Lincoln cent, let's take a moment to think about this. Millions of these pennies were minted. And for decades they've been circulating in our pockets, jars, drawers, and piggy banks. But among those ordinary coins lies a handful of rare mistakes, minting errors, and unique variations that collectors will pay millions for. The world of coin collecting isn't just about shiny, perfect coins. Sometimes the dirtiest, most worn-out penny can turn out to be a millionaire's dream. The 1988 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Normally, pennies from Philadelphia in 1988 don't carry a mint mark, which means you'll just see the year 1988 under the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side of the coin, but no letters such as D or S. What makes this particular penny special, however, is a rare and mysterious error that slipped through quality control during the minting process. Collectors have discovered that a small number of 1988 Lincoln cents were accidentally struck using dies intended for the following year, 1989. This means the obverse design, specifically the area around the letters, Liberty and In God We Trust, shows slight differences from the standard 1988 design. Most notably, the spacing, alignment, and shape of the AM, in America, on the reverse side can reveal whether your coin is a rare transitional variety. This is known as the 1988 reverse of 1989 penny, and if you have one of these coins in your collection, you could be sitting on a fortune. But here's where things get even more interesting. Many of these rare 1988 no-mint mark pennies don't look perfect. Some are scratched, discolored, or covered in decades of dirt and oxidation. To the untrained eye, they look like junk change. Yet to professional collectors and numismatists, these imperfections might be hiding a multi-million-dollar error. When examining dirty or damaged pennies, you need to look beyond the surface. Even if the coin looks worn, the key identifying features can often still be seen under magnification. Look closely at the FG initials on the reverse. They should match the 1989 design's subtle details. Compare the letters in America. If the A and M are nearly touching, you might have a standard coin. But if there's a small separation or slightly different font style, it could be a valuable transitional error. Another reason these coins are so prized is because of their extremely limited quantity. Only a tiny number are known to exist, and since many are still hidden among circulation, collectors believe more could still be out there, in old jars, coin rolls, or forgotten boxes in attics and basements. So, if you ever come across an old, dirty 1988 penny, don't toss it aside. Clean it carefully, or better yet, don't clean it at all. Sometimes cleaning can damage the natural patina and reduce the coin's value drastically. Instead, use a magnifying glass or coin microscope to look for the identifying features. Now, let's talk about how condition and grading affect the value of these rare 1988 no-mint mark pennies. The grading system used by professionals ranges from poor all the way to mint state, or proof. Even if your coin has wear and tear, if it's confirmed as the rare transitional error, it can still fetch tens of thousands of dollars. And in pristine condition, the value can skyrocket to millions. The record-breaking example sold for over $8 million because it was not only verified by top grading services like PCGS and NGC but also displayed exceptional strike details and minimal damage. Imagine finding a penny worth $8 million, something you could easily overlook because it's a bit grimy or scratched. That's the magic of coin collecting. Value isn't always about how shiny the coin is, but about what story it tells. Every little scratch, dent, or smudge might represent years of circulation, passing through countless hands, and one of those hands could be yours. Let's dig deeper into how these minting errors actually happen. During the coin-making process, dies, which are the metal stamps used to press the coin's design, are created for each year. Occasionally, when transitioning from one year to the next, the mint accidentally uses an older die paired with a new one. That's exactly what happened in 1988. The reverse die for 1989 was mistakenly used with 1988 obverse dies, creating the now famous transitional error. Because only a few escaped detection, those surviving coins became among the rarest and most valuable Lincoln cents ever produced. Over time, collectors began discovering these odd pennies, often from circulation. Some came from old coin rolls, others from estate collections, and some even from pocket change. The fascinating part is that most people who found them didn't realize their value at first. To them, it was just another penny, dirty, worn, and ordinary. Only after careful inspection did they discover the incredible rarity hidden beneath the surface grime. Now let's address one of the biggest misconceptions in coin collecting: that damaged or dirty coins are worthless. This couldn't be further from the truth when it comes to rare errors like the 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln cent. The true value comes from rarity, demand, and authenticity, not just condition. Of course, a mint state coin will command higher prices, but even a circulated example can still change your life. If you're searching through your coins at home, here's what you should do. First, organize your pennies by year. Focus on the 1980s, particularly 1988. Then, under bright light or using a magnifier, inspect the reverse side. Pay special attention to the America lettering and the initials, FG, near the Lincoln Memorial. Compare these features to images of both 1988 and 1989 designs. If yours matches the 1989 reverse, congratulations, you may have a multi-million-dollar coin. Even if your coin is covered in dirt or has a greenish tint from oxidation, don't panic. That's normal for copper-based coins, especially ones that have been around for decades. Resist the urge to polish or scrub it, as harsh cleaning can remove valuable toning and microscopic details that experts rely on for verification. Instead, store the coin safely in a protective holder or flip and have it evaluated by a professional coin dealer or grading service. Many of the most expensive coins ever sold started out looking like junk. Some were even bent, scratched, or found stuck in dirt. What made them valuable wasn't their shine, it was the story behind them and the era that made them unique. The 1988 no-mint mark penny is a perfect example of this. Its history is tied to the transition between two coin designs, making it a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. The coin community has seen prices soar in recent years, with collectors competing fiercely for rare transitional errors. As of today, the market value of this extraordinary penny sits around $8 million, and experts believe that as more collectors enter the hobby, prices could climb even higher. Now let's talk about how you can increase your chances of finding one. Coin roll hunting is one of the best methods. Visit local banks and request boxes of pennies, then sort through them carefully. You'd be surprised how many rare finds are still out there. Some collectors even purchase old jars of coins from estate sales or garage sales, and occasionally, they strike gold. Let's not forget that even common 1988 pennies have historical significance. They feature the classic Lincoln Memorial design, which ran from 1959 to 2008, before being replaced by the newer shield reverse. This design marks an era of American coinage that connects millions of collectors today. When examining your coins, remember this simple rule: condition matters, but rarity rules. A dirty or damaged coin can still be rare. And rarity, especially when paired with a historic minting mistake, is what drives million-dollar values. Let's imagine for a moment what finding one of these coins could mean. A single 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln penny could pay off your mortgage, fund your children's education, or set you up for life. Imagine finding a simple, dirty penny in your pocket change and later discovering it's worth $6 million. It sounds unbelievable, right? But in the world of rare coin collecting, such discoveries have truly happened. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating stories in modern coin history: the 2002 D-Mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. This seemingly ordinary coin, struck in the Denver Mint, has taken the numismatic world by storm due to a few very rare and mysterious features. Some examples, even though they appear damaged or dirty, are now valued at a staggering $6 million. So, if you've got a few old pennies lying around or tucked away in jars, stay tuned, because what looks like a worthless cent might just be your ticket to fortune. The 2002 D. Lincoln penny was part of the regular circulation coins minted by the U.S. Mint in Denver. Billions of these coins were produced, and for most people, they're just everyday pocket change. But among the countless pennies minted that year, a few were struck with remarkable minting errors and unique surface characteristics that turned them into treasures. And here's the surprising twist: many of these valuable pennies don't look shiny or perfect. Some appear damaged, worn, or even dirty. Yet it's those oddities that catch the attention of serious collectors. To understand why the 2002 D. Lincoln penny can reach such an unbelievable price, we first need to understand how errors and unique characteristics make certain coins incredibly rare. When coins are struck, the dies, those metal pieces that imprint the design, can develop cracks, wear out, or even get misaligned. Sometimes, foreign materials like grease or debris can get between the die and the blank planchet. When this happens, it results in coins with unusual appearances, weak strikes, missing details, double dies, or even strange colorations. These errors are not intentional, but they make each coin one of a kind. The 2002 D penny that's valued at $6 million is believed to have been a combination of several rare minting conditions. One version displays what collectors call a grease-filled die error, meaning that parts of the coin's design, such as the word Liberty, the date, or even Lincoln's profile, appear faded or incomplete. This might look like simple wear or damage to the untrained eye, but under magnification, experts can tell it's a legitimate minting error. Another version shows signs of what numismatists refer to as a die crack, a small raised line running across the coin's surface, caused by a crack in the die itself. These lines may look like scratches or even dirt buildup, but they're actually part of the metal from the minting process. When collectors find a coin that combines such errors, a grease-filled strike, die cracks, and possibly even planchet issues, it becomes an extraordinary rarity. What's even more fascinating about the $6 million 2002 D penny is that it wasn't found in a coin collection or a bank vault. According to reports, one example was discovered in pocket change, completely dirty, darkened, and seemingly damaged. The coin had likely been in circulation for years. But once examined by professionals and graded by a top certification service, its true value was revealed. This goes to show that not all treasure shines brightly. Sometimes, it hides beneath years of grime and handling. Now let's talk about why dirty or damaged-looking pennies can still be worth millions. Most collectors and casual coin enthusiasts assume that condition is everything, that a dirty or scratched coin must be worthless. But that's not always true. The key lies in the type of damage. If the coin's marks, odd coloration, or missing features came from post-mint damage, meaning after it left the mint, then it's usually worth only its face value. However, if the unusual characteristics occurred during the minting process itself, they're known as mint errors, and that changes everything. In the case of the 2002 D penny, some examples display both visual oddities and metallurgical differences. Under certain lighting, collectors notice discolorations or rainbow-like toning caused by the specific metal composition and exposure to air over time. When analyzed, these surface effects can reveal how the coin's metal reacted differently, hinting that the planchet might not have been standard. The U.S. Mint sometimes experiences slight variations in alloy mixtures, leading to pennies that look dirty, dark, or spotted, and those rare instances intrigue experts because they can indicate a small batch of coins struck with unique properties. Collectors also pay special attention to the reverse side of the coin, the Lincoln Memorial design. On some of these rare 2002 D pennies, the steps of the memorial appear faint or missing entirely. Sometimes, the letters in 1 cent look weakly struck or slightly distorted. All of these details can increase a coin's rarity. And when paired with verified mint errors, these coins can reach jaw-dropping prices at auctions. In one of the most talked about cases, a collector found what looked like a damaged 2002 D penny with a faint demint mark and odd surface bubbles. Thinking it was worthless, they nearly discarded it. But after researching online and having the coin authenticated, it turned out to be one of the extremely rare examples minted with a die misalignment and planchet impurity. That penny later sold for millions due to its unique combination of minting anomalies. For those who collect coins or are just beginning, the lesson is clear: never underestimate a coin because of its appearance. A dirty penny doesn't always mean a worthless penny. In fact, the dirt and discoloration can sometimes help preserve certain details or hide important minting clues. Many collectors recommend examining all older coins under magnification and proper lighting. Look for doubling on the letters, cracks in the metal, or missing portions of the design. These subtle signs can mean the difference between a common cent and a life-changing discovery. To further understand what makes the 2002 Lincoln penny stand out, we can look at its composition and design history. The coin features the classic bust of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a design by Victor David Brenner that first appeared in 1909. By 2002, these pennies were being minted using a zinc core coated with a thin layer of copper, rather than the solid bronze used in earlier decades. This change in metal composition sometimes led to striking issues. For instance, the copper plating could separate or bubble, causing unusual textures and patterns on the coin's surface. These imperfections might appear like damage or corrosion, but they are, in fact, minting defects, and that's what excites collectors the most. When you think about it, a $6 million price tag for a single penny seems beyond reason. But coin collectors aren't just buying the metal, they're buying history, rarity, and the story behind the coin. The 2002 penny that reached such a high value represents a moment in minting history that's nearly impossible to replicate, a combination of material flaws, production errors, and sheer luck that make it truly one of a kind. What's even more thrilling is that these coins can still be out there, in jars, drawers, or old collections. Many people overlook coins from the early 2000s because they assume only older pennies hold value. But recent discoveries have proven otherwise. As time goes on, the number of these rare era coins in circulation decreases, and their value skyrockets. Imagine checking your spare change, wiping off a dusty penny, and realizing you're holding a $6 million treasure. That's the dream of every coin enthusiast. And while not every 2002 penny will make you rich, each one has a story to tell. Even a dirty, well-worn penny might reveal secrets of the minting process, teaching collectors about the incredible craftsmanship and imperfections of U.S. coinage. So, the next time you find a dull or seemingly damaged penny, take a closer look. Check the mint mark, inspect the date, and observe the details under magnification. Look for fading letters, die cracks, off-center strikes, or bubbles under the surface. And don't clean your coins. Cleaning can destroy the very features that make them valuable. Instead, store them safely, and if you think you have something special, consider getting it evaluated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Coin collecting isn't just a hobby, it's a treasure hunt. The 2002 Lincoln penny reminds us that even the smallest, dirtiest coin can carry immense value. It's proof that fortune favors the observant, and that history can rest quietly in the palm of your hand. So, go through your coin jars, your old piggy banks, and your spare change.